What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Saturday, May 25th, 2024. This is take two. First one got totally effed up. Don't know what happened. Technical things, the gremlins inside my computer decided, we're going to turn your camera off in the middle of a GD video. Thanks, dicks. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Yes, this video is coming out a little late. Thanks for noticing. And thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I got other priorities sometimes, whether it's work, taking my wife to lunch, having a couple cocktails, whatever it might be, starting my holiday weekend. Who knows? And pick one. I don't care. It's all good. I have a lot more excuses in my bag. Ask my wife. I've got excuses on excuses. Anyways, they're all legit. Let's talk about Buckeye football today. Let's do it. Hope you're having a good holiday weekend. Be careful out there. Drink and hydrate. You don't always have to do those the same way. Anyways, we're talking about second-year stars coming in here to 2024. Who's ready to shine? Who's going to get more snaps? How'd they do last year? How did these true freshmen handle themselves last year? We'll talk some snap counts. And we'll talk about things like, the season didn't have a lot of blowout victories, so didn't get a lot of young guys into the games. Not a lot of opportunities for young guys. A lot of starters were returning, on defense. So let's get into it. What happened in 2023? What's going to happen in 2024? We'll start off with the D-line here. Josh Mickens, a defensive end. He appeared in one game and played in one snap in 2023. I don't know why, but one snap. That's all you can give this dude is one snap. Jesus. Anyway, at 6'3", 233, Mickens is obviously undersized as a defensive end. But with his frame and his skill set, he would be an ideal candidate for the jack position, which he was recruited as, should be noted. But Knowles didn't use the jack at all last year. He used it back in 2022. But we'll have to see how much he'll use the jack this year. And that's going to determine how much action Mickens gets, right? Again, just two cocktails. So we'll see what happens for him in 2024. Obvious redshirt candidate from last year. He did have 47 snaps in the spring game. So that's a lot of action, and that's good. A lot of tape, a lot of things to work on. And he can go through that with Coach Johnson. Next up, D tackle Caden McDonald, the big man out of Georgia. Coaching staff really loves his athletic profile, his athletic upside. So they used it in the Cotton Bowl as a fullback, 326-pound fullback against Missouri. Yeah, he handled himself all right, I thought. He moves well for a big man and could be a real force in the middle of the defensive line this fall. He only played in 31 snaps on defense last year in 6 games. He had 1 tackle and a batted down pass, so nice. Larry Johnson brought up his name throughout the season, though, as a young player who was impressing in practice. So I expect a much larger role for him as a sophomore. He's in a position battle, to be the 3rd or 4th D tackle going into the game behind Tyleek and Ty. So he did have 52 snaps in the spring game. That's a lot of work. So we'll see how often we can get him on the field. You will see him for sure. Next up, Will Smith. I don't feel as positive about seeing a lot of Will Smith this year. He didn't play at all in 2023. He barely practiced at times. He's dealt with an undisclosed injury, but he looks like he's continued to develop physically in the weight room over the last year. So eventually he'll get some snaps on the D-line. With how much time he missed last year, he's far behind his teammates at D-line. Redshirt, of course. He did have 26 snaps in the spring game. So that's something to work from. Next up, Jason Moore, another D tackle. He played 7 snaps in 2 games. They were against Western Kentucky and Missouri. Moore had an impressive spring this offseason. Larry Johnson talked about him a lot as somebody who stood out early in spring practice. So Moore can be ready to be one of those third or fourth D tackles going in and have a big breakout sophomore year. So playing D tackle at 6'6", he is a unique force up the middle with pass rush from the inside, getting right into the quarterback's faces. And yep, we're still recording the camera. All right, good job, guys. Sorry. He's battling Caden McDonald, Hero Canoe, Taiwan Malone, and again, for that third or fourth tackle that goes into the game. So he's a redshirt guy as well. So you got another year on the back end. He did have 38 snaps in the spring game. So again, more tape to work from and work off of. Next up, Arvell Reese. He's the linebacker out of Cleveland Glenville. One of the most interesting guys in this class because we weren't sure if he was going to be a linebacker or a D end. So they got him with the linebackers this year. He's still raw, obviously, as a linebacker. He only saw action on special teams last year. He had 53 snaps in 8 games, got a little dinged up there in the middle of the season. But long-term, there's a chance that Reese could move down to edge rusher. The staff had him there last year because the linebacker room was so deep. But now he's back at linebacker this spring, and his explosiveness is what really stands out with him. So Reese will need another year of seasoning and development before he's ready to play every down. Can Jim Knowles find a way to get Arvell Reese on the field this year? Maybe in certain situations where he's just given one task to do, like blitz the quarterback off the edge or whatever. He's also another guy that could play that jack. He's very similar size to Josh Mickens. So Reese will be regular on special teams again this fall, and he had 44 snaps in the spring game, so a lot of action there. Let's move to the secondary now. You got corners, Jermaine Matthews. Carnell Tate is the only freshman who played more than Jermaine Matthews. He's ultra competitive at corner, had 192 snaps on defense. He had a start against Rutgers, and he played the majority of the Penn State game when Denzel Burke went out with an injury. Then add on 91 snaps on special teams. So altogether, he played in 12 games, made 13 tackles, 3 pass breakups, and we all remember the pick 6 against Western Kentucky, took it down the sideline. Matthews never looked out of place as a freshman on the field, so he's ready to be an every down corner. He's worked in at the slot corner and outside to make himself more valuable and versatile. He won't be needed this season. He's a no-doubt starter in 2025. Now, he will play this season. I'm not saying he's not going to play, but he has a starting role at the outside corner waiting for him in 2025. But he could see meaningful snaps this year if Tim Walton decides to rotate him in with the rest of the corners there. He also had 43 snaps in the spring game. So, again, a lot of action there. Calvin Simpson-Hunt, the other corner, he didn't have a large workload last year at all, or a workload, really. He flashed some potential at corner against Michigan State and Minnesota. He had just 23 snaps on defense, but he had more action on special teams with 55 snaps in 5 games. So expect more of him in special teams this year. That way he can use his speed. He's a track guy, right? So think about him out at gunner on the punt team or something. So Tim Walton expects to play more depth, of course, at the corners. So Calvin Simpson-Hunt should get more snaps at corner, but he's likely your cornerback 4 in this defense. You got Denzel Burke, IGB, and Jermaine Matthews ahead of him. So again, he's another dude that 2025 should step into a starting role at outside corner. He's a redshirt guy from last year, so future is bright. He also had 46 snaps in the spring game, so a lot of tape for him. Malik Hartford, we got 2 safeties here. Malik Hartford earned a start at free safety in week 2 against Youngstown State last year. Proctor was out with an injury, and it was a huge opportunity for him, but he only played 11 snaps, then got pulled. He did appear in 11 games total, though. He logged 158 snaps on defense, 61 on special teams. But Hartford wasn't ready for a consistent role as a true freshman. We also saw that against the Cheaters. He'll need to prove that he's reliable this fall behind Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom. Hartford also has to overcome a minor injury that held him out of spring ball. He posted 10 tackles as a freshman last year. He should at least get more snaps on special teams this coming season. So Hartford is another guy that'll get a crack at a starting job in 2025. You can be sure of that. And because of that injury in spring, he didn't play at all in the spring game, no snaps. We'll finish up here with Jaden Bonsu, the hard-hitting safety out of New Jersey. He got all of the first team safety reps at strong safety this spring, and he made the most of it. He didn't play at all last year, but he should be in the two deep this year at safety. He should have a consistent role on special teams as well, and he'll be at that strong safety behind Lathan Ransom. Took the red shirt last year, played 58 snaps in the spring game, a lot of it with the ones. I could make the argument that those snaps with the ones are more valuable than any other snaps in practice or in games. So look for Jaden Bonsu on special teams to be laying suckers out and flying around. So we'll see how all these guys get on the field, as these coaches keep telling us how they're going to play depth all this year. So let's see them prove it. There's no more red shirts to take, so there's nothing holding these guys back from getting on the field other than performance, really. So I got for you today. Hey, please visit thebuckeyecast.com, visit the shop, visit the video vault, and we'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.